in his first start, having to come in himself and was able to kind of tell the team and keep you guys really in it for the very end?
I mean, he looked like he usually does, composed, making the plays that we know he can make, and now he put us in position to win. And we got it.
The fourth quarter, it seemed like the success you had earlier hit a brick wall. Unit.
Yeah, I think just got to convert. You know, you look back, there's obvious times you got to go make it happen. Starts with me, but us coming together collectively to go make that happen. But you know, you look at a lot of the third downs to extend drives. That's where we can continue to, you know.
Myles Garrett just snapped, and not in some harmless, oops, I dropped my helmet type of way. No, this man went straight nuclear. The second news broke that Dillon Gabriel was starting instead of Shedeur Sanders. It felt like a bomb went off in Cleveland. The whole NFL world froze in disbelief while social media melted down faster than a busted play on fourth down. Twitter's in chaos, Instagram's flooded with memes, and even NFL insiders are whispering, what are the Browns thinking? You can almost picture it. Garrett in the locker room, jaw tight, fists clenched, that silent fury brewing behind the calm exterior. This isn't your average frustration. This is a storm building up, a mix of shock, disbelief, and flat-out rage. The kind of energy that makes the walls shake. How did Dillon Gabriel even end up here? What did he do to spark all this madness? And most importantly, did Shedeur Sanders really just get robbed of his shot right in front of the entire league? Garrett went from calm and composed to total meltdown mode in half a heartbeat. You could feel the shift, like someone just keyed his brand new ride, stole his lunch out the locker, and smiled while doing it. The Browns locker room isn't just tense right now, it's radioactive. Players are looking around, whispering, wondering if the coaches lost their minds or if there's something deeper brewing behind the scenes. And let's be real, Dillon Gabriel starting over Shedeur Sanders? That's like forcing a kid to eat cold broccoli while there's a whole cake sitting right there calling his name. The Browns didn't just make a bad call. They made the kind of decision that makes fans question the entire front office. This whole situation is straight up wild, eyebrow-raising, head-scratching, and enough to make you wonder if Cleveland's front office is secretly running some twisted fantasy football experiment gone horribly wrong. If this were a TV drama, the episode title would be The Day Cleveland Lost Its Mind, and front and center, Myles Garrett, turning his meltdown into pure legend. He's pacing like a caged lion, throwing his hands up, side-eyeing everybody in sight, giving those death stares that could melt steel right off a goalpost. Garrett doesn't even look like a football player right now. He looks like an actor auditioning for best meltdown in a sports movie. Every movement screams frustration, disbelief, and that I told y'all energy that only comes when a locker room loses faith in its leaders. The man's body language alone is breaking the internet. Memes everywhere, GIFs looping nonstop, fans dropping comments like Garrett about to call a players-only meeting by himself. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, all on fire. And the punchline? Dillon Gabriel's name just went viral, but not the way he'd ever want. His trending moment isn't about highlights. It's about how on earth he ended up starting over Shedeur Sanders. Cleveland might have just unleashed a storm they can't put back in the bottle, and the thunder's already echoing. Meanwhile, Shadur, he's still in the background, calm, focused, plotting. That man's like a Ferrari sitting in the garage while everyone else is out there pushing dented sedans with one working headlight. Cleveland fans are out here groaning in perfect harmony, like a whole stadium sighing at once, thinking, man, this could have been legendary. You can feel the disappointment echoing through the city. And here's the crazy part. At least they can't hang these ugly losses on Shedeur Sanders, because let's be real.
You were a little disappointed in some of the accuracy you saw from Dillon Gabriel, so I'll let you go first on this. What grade overall would you give Dillon in his first NFL
I give him a
start?
C. And that takes into account a lot of things. The wide receivers he has to throw to, the limited play calling, and maybe that's because of the wide receivers that you don't have. It's an offense that's very Kevin Stefanski-esque. He loves the tight ends. He had some open throws that he missed on. Not a lot, but he had some that would have helped move.
If he were starting, every bad snap, every missed pass, every loss would have had his name tattooed all over it. Cleveland's got a long history of chewing up their quarterbacks and spitting them out. So in some twisted way, maybe they're protecting him, shielding their potential star from the mess they made themselves. But by doing that, they're also robbing themselves of the exact spark that could flip this whole season upside down. It's like watching someone sit on a winning lottery ticket, too scared to cash it in. Meanwhile, poor Dillon Gabriel. Man, you can see he's trying his best. He wants to lock in, wants to prove himself, but it's like someone handed him the wrong script for a Broadway play. He's out there reciting lines that don't fit, while the crowd's yelling, "Yo, we didn't cast you for this role!" Every snap he takes turns into an instant social media crime scene. Clips getting slowed down, analyzed, and roasted by the minute. Fans are treating his every move like an Elon Musk prototype. Either he's about to change the game forever or blow up mid-drive for the whole world to witness. And the coaching staff, oh, they're sweating bullets. Not the visible kind, but that deep, invisible panic where every call feels like walking on a tightrope. You can practically hear their thoughts screaming, "Please don't let this blow up on national TV." Every practice, every snap, every timeout, it's all ticking louder, like a countdown nobody can stop. The tension in Cleveland is electric, thick enough to slice through the air. Fans are spiraling, podcasts are popping off, and the whole city feels like it's sitting on a football-shaped time bomb, ready to blow at any second. The Browns situation isn't just tense, it's explosive. Twitter has turned into a full-blown battlefield. What used to be calm football talk about defensive schemes and strategy has now morphed into chaos, outrage, and straight-up comedy. Memes, arguments, conspiracy threads. It's wild. Someone even dropped a photoshopped image of Myles Garrett decked out in full medieval armor, standing over Dillon Gabriel like he just conquered him in some fantasy war zone. And honestly, that pic sums everything up perfectly. The Browns' quarterback situation doesn't even feel like football anymore. It's turned into a gladiator arena. On one side, there's logic, patience, and hope. And on the other, pure madness, confusion, and desperation fighting for screen time. But here's the twist. Shedeur Sanders isn't out here sulking or sitting idle. Nah, he's locked in, watching it all unfold with that calm, confident grin. You can almost hear him thinking, for real, this is what we're doing now? The man's got the arm, the IQ, and that rare superstar energy, the kind that draws cameras and changes franchises. Yet somehow, the Browns front office keeps treating him like a test subject in their ongoing experiment with fan patience. Fans within a 50-mile radius are holding their breath, just waiting for that exact moment when Shedeur Sanders finally gets unleashed. You can feel it building like a storm right before it hits, because when that moment comes, the internet's not just gonna react, it's gonna detonate. Expect memes flying everywhere, GIFs looping nonstop, and reaction videos flooding every corner of the time.
He's payroll or whatever. By the way, I'm the one who wrote the fact that he wasn't coaching Deshaun. I am. I'm the one that wrote that. Yeah. So don't tell me that I'm not critical of him, because I am. And you're 100% right with like some of the DTR nonsense that went on. You're right. You're 1,000% right with that. So it's not perfect. I just think, I just keep thinking back to that McDaniels thing, and I keep thinking back to like, he wanted to clean out the building, and they told him, okay, see ya. Jimmy's not going to give him that control. He's going to be in the Friday meetings. He's going to be in the Monday meetings. And the way that they run things and the way that they operate things is so dysfunctional that it is very much
timeline. Somebody's probably already halfway through writing a college essay titled How Shedeur Sanders Became the Hero Cleveland Didn't Deserve, but absolutely needed. That's how deep this story's cutting through the culture right now. And then there's Myles Garrett. Oh, he's not hiding a single ounce of fury. The man's walking around with frustration, waving like a flag at halftime, sending a message that couldn't be louder if he screamed it through a megaphone. Benching Shedeur Sanders isn't just a questionable decision, it's a full-blown crime against football logic. Garrett's body language alone tells the whole story. He's fed up, done pretending, and ready for something to change. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel is out there trying to prove himself, and you have to respect that grind. He's giving everything he's got, but let's be honest, the guy's trapped in the toughest spot imaginable. The starter forced to live in someone else's shadow, carrying the weight of a fan base that's already decided who they really want under center. It's like this situation was crafted by scientists who specialize in pain. Every snap, every throw Dillon Gabriel makes is being compared to what Shadur would have done. Fans can't help themselves. You can hear the whispers after every incomplete pass, every missed read. That wouldn't have happened if Shadur was out there. The pressure's not just heavy, it's brutal. It's the kind of weight that breaks even the toughest players, and it's getting heavier by the minute. And don't even get me started on the media. The headlines are dripping with sarcasm, disbelief, and pure exhaustion. Stuff like, Brown's questionable QB move backfires again is plastered all over ESPN, Bleacher Report, and every social feed in between. Reporters are writing like they're personally offended by this decision. You can practically hear the frustration through the screen. It's not coverage anymore. It's a roast session in real time. Meanwhile, Myles Garrett isn't just standing on the sideline watching a game. He's watching a slow-motion tragedy unfold. You can see it in his face, that haunting mix of disbelief, anger, and heartbreak as the team's potential burns right in front of him. Every blown play, Every wasted drive is another spark feeding the chaos that's about to ignite. The energy in Cleveland is beyond tense. It's that eerie calm before the storm, the kind where you know something's about to explode, but nobody wants to say it out loud. The front office looks calm, but it's the kind of calm that screams denial, like they're convincing themselves this is all fine while the walls start cracking. The tension inside that locker room is thick, heavy enough to choke the air out of the place. Everyone's sitting there, holding their breath, waiting for the inevitable explosion that everyone knows is coming. Shedeur Sanders could have been that spark, that game-changing jolt of adrenaline this team desperately needed to wake up. But instead, Cleveland's stuck on repeat, recycling the same tired excuse every week. Maybe next game. It's painful to watch, like seeing someone hold a winning lottery ticket and refusing to scratch it. The fans are losing it, yelling through screens, flooding comment sections, begging the front office to just play him already. It's reached that point where the whole city feels like it's in a group chat arguing with management, and those execs sitting there with calm faces, nodding like they've got everything under control, mumbling, "Patience, we'll get there." But everyone knows that's just code for stalling. Meanwhile, Myles Garrett is out here delivering side eyes so sharp they could slice through bulletproof glass. Every movement, every glare, every muttered word under his breath has turned into entertainment gold. The man can't even blink without someone turning it into a meme. Gabriel throws an incompletion. Boom! Viral. Garrett's reaction. Even more viral. The cameras can't look away, and neither can the fans. It's pure Cleveland chaos. Wasted potential on full display, a superstar waiting for his moment, while the franchise drifts in slow motion. Somehow, in the middle of all this madness, Shedeur Sanders still manages to look like the calmest, coolest guy in the entire room. While the world around him spins into chaos, he's just sitting there, unbothered, composed, locked in like he's seen this movie before. The internet can't get enough. Analysts are dissecting his every move like it's a science experiment. And fans, they're treating every single Browns game like it's the grand finale of a reality show where nobody knows how it's gonna end. The question on everyone's mind, who's finally getting their shot? Will Shadur rise up and claim what's rightfully his, or will Dillon Gabriel somehow survive this storm long enough to keep the spotlight? The tension's boiling over, the drama's electric, and the chaos? Oh, it's just getting started. Myles Garrett's meltdown was only the opening act of a much bigger show. The Browns front office thinks they're playing some kind of 4D chess, like they've got it all figured out, moving pieces in secret. But Garrett, he's that tornado crashing through the board, flipping every piece into the air and yelling, "This ain't how it's done." And let's be honest, this isn't just about football anymore. Nah, this is psychology, pride, and frustration all colliding in real time.
That is cleansed, and it's never going to be cleansed. It is a massive obstacle for any coach to overcome, which is why I said a couple weeks ago, I truly believe the Browns' only chance at actually winning at a high level is to get lucky on a quarterback like the Bengals did with Burrow. That is their only chance. Short of that happening, it don't matter who the coach is.
But
it
Jay,
don't matter who the G.
Watching elite talent like Shedeur Sanders rot on the bench while someone else fumbles through the spotlight is painful. It's like watching a masterpiece locked away in a storage room. It triggers fans, fuels outrage, stirs up emotion, and yeah, even adds that dark comedic edge to the chaos. Football's always been a full contact sport, but right now, Cleveland's chaos feels like a collision you can't look away from. Myles Garrett, bless his wild and unfiltered energy, has accidentally become Shedeur Sanders' loudest hype man without even trying. The man's practically running a one-man PR campaign from the sideline, and the Browns can't do a single thing to stop it. Every glare, every gesture, every furious outburst is like a public service announcement screaming, "Play Shadur already." Zoom in on the fans, and it's complete digital warfare out there. Twitter's gone nuclear. It's a full-blown keyboard battlefield. Everyone's firing off hot takes, threads, and memes like missiles. Someone even made a worst QB decisions of the century bracket. And guess who's already sitting at the top? Dillon Gabriel. And not because he's bad, but because Cleveland's front office decided to toss him into a no-win situation. Meanwhile, memes of Shadur sitting on the bench looking like he's in detention have taken over timelines. You scroll once and boom, there he is again, captioned with "Free Shadur" or "Bench the mistake." And the Browns front office, man, they're in full-on denial mode, sitting there calm, arms crossed, muttering the same corporate line, "We're thinking long-term," which, let's be honest, really translates to, "We have no clue what we're doing, but let's pretend it's strategy." It's delusion disguised as patience. Meanwhile, Garrett's pacing the sidelines like a caged lion, eyes locked, body tense, that silent fury ready to erupt at any second. His glare so sharp it could slice through a helmet, and the message behind it couldn't be clearer. You're about to regret this. The pressure inside that locker room is rising fast, and everyone knows Cleveland is just one bad play away from a full-blown implosion. It's honestly a miracle no one's burned their retinas watching this madness unfold. Myles Garrett has turned himself into a walking, talking, rage-fueled cautionary tale. A human billboard screaming, "This is a bad idea. It's gonna end ugly." Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel is out there giving it everything he's got. And credit where it's due, the man's really trying. But it's like watching a hero show up to the wrong movie. He's battling dragons in a romantic comedy, swinging for the fences in a storyline that doesn't fit him at all. Every throw he makes lands with a collective groan from the fans, echoing through the stands like, "Not again?" And up in the analyst booths, reporters are gripping their notes like stress balls, whispering, "Please, not another drive like that." It's tough to watch because you can tell Dillon's heart is in it. He's grinding, fighting, trying to stay afloat. But this situation...
Kevin Stefanski is in serious trouble for allowing Dillon Gabriel to pretty much cost him the game in the fourth. Like Shedeur Sanders may not be getting any reps over in London, man. Footage has come out of the Cleveland Browns pretty much getting ready for this game against the Vikings. No footage has been released of Shedeur Sanders. Kevin Stefanski spoke to the media earlier.
Kevin, can you just talk about just the offensive drought once you got to the fourth quarter if you're doing it?
Yeah, just felt a little, didn't get into very many advantageous down and distances. Ended up in too many third and longs. There were penalties. We just have to be better, have to score some points.
Would you do anything differently on the next to last drive when you ran 3 plays in 11 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, we ran it twice. They called their timeouts.
Was doomed from the start. He's been thrown into a storm that isn't his to weather. And somewhere, probably late at night, Shedeur Sanders is out there training in silence like a monk, patient, focused, waiting for the world to wake up and realize what they've been sleeping on. You just know that when his time comes, it's going to be spectacular. Shadur is still developing, sure, but his ceiling, insane. The kid's a highlight reel waiting to happen. Speed, precision, swagger, the full package. The real problem? Patience. And Cleveland's fresh out of it. But here's the crazy, beautiful irony. Since Shadur isn't starting, the Browns can't use him as their favorite scapegoat. It's poetic justice in its purest form. Normally, Cleveland's quick to point fingers, blame the young quarterback for every interception, every loss, every bad snap. But this time, nah, that burden's on someone else. And Myles Garrett knows it. You can feel the frustration radiating off him like heat from the turf on a brutal summer afternoon. His body language is louder than any post-game interview. Every crossed arm, every glare, every slow shake of the head says it all. Picture the sideline right now. Myles Garrett pacing back and forth like a storm cloud ready to strike, tension radiating off him like static before lightning hits. Dillon Gabriel's trying his best to lock in, pretending not to feel the weight of 1,000 eyes burning into him. The coaches, whispering to each other in the corner, glancing around like they're in some secret spy mission, terrified someone might catch on that they've lost control of their own locker room. And the fans, oh, they're absolutely losing it. Every incomplete pass turns into a full-blown moral debate. Was that bad execution or just the lack of Shedeur Sanders' energy? You can almost hear the collective groan echoing through Cleveland like thunder. Deep down, everyone knows the truth because the aura is real, the charisma real, the arm unquestionable. Shedeur Sanders isn't hype. He's the spark sitting right there waiting to ignite, but somehow Cleveland still refuses to unleash it. It's like watching someone ignore a mountain of gold just to dig around in a sandbox instead. The frustration's boiling over, and it's spreading faster than wildfire through every group chat, every sports thread, every fan forum out there. Meanwhile, the media's having the time of their lives, feeding off the chaos like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Analysts are zooming in on every frame, breaking down every throw like it's the key to world peace. Slow-motion replays, arrow graphics, exaggerated headlines. The whole circus. The funniest part? The Browns still think they're the ones in control, sitting there calm like this is all going according to plan. The headlines are dripping with sarcasm, disbelief, and just the right dash of panic. Stuff like, Browns hope Dillon Gabriel can survive without Shedeur Sanders, and Myles Garrett paces sideline like a man possessed are flooding every sports page in America. One journalist even went all in, dropping.
This could have been a B- game for Dillon Gabriel. There's one pass that he missed. They ran a bootleg that was on the first down when they were trying to ice the game.
Talking about.
Yep, I do too.
They ran a bootleg, and it's difficult for the play design because they booted to the right, which is against the grain for a lefty.
That's exactly right. It's a very tough throw.
And it's easy looking, but it's tough. He sailed the ball. He was wide open. That would have got you 5 to 6 yards, put you in the position you can run the ball. That should have been
A full-on diagram comparing Gabriel's throws to Shedur's theoretical ones, like not even real passes, just imagination fuel. Yeah, theoretical passes. Only in Cleveland could fans break down imaginary throws like they're decoding ancient hieroglyphics. The obsession's gotten so deep, it's practically an art form. People posting play-by-play breakdowns of things that haven't even happened yet. And right in the center of it all, Myles Garrett, living rent-free in everyone's minds week after week, game after game. Every stomp he takes, every glare he shoots, every deep sigh he lets out hits like a message beamed straight to the franchise. Cleveland, what are you doing? He's basically a walking protest sign wearing shoulder pads and a helmet, broadcasting to the whole football world, this is wrong, but nobody asked me. The frustration's loud, but his body language, even louder. Every move he makes just keeps fueling the fire, adding new layers to the chaos Cleveland built for itself. It's to the point where his side-eye deserves its own highlight reel. But here's what makes it even crazier. Through all the noise, the drama, and the non-stop circus surrounding him, Myles Garrett's still balling out at an elite level, still leading, still grinding, still holding that defense together like duct tape on a sinking ship. He's the one guy refusing to crumble under the weight of this madness, reminding his teammates, the fans, and maybe even the football gods themselves that greatness doesn't pause just because the front office lost its mind. This entire situation, one massive questionable decision that's got the whole league talking. And now here comes the spicy part. Every single practice, every huddle, every timeout feels heavier than the last. Even people who couldn't care less about Cleveland football are suddenly tuning in, not for the touchdowns, not for the wins, but just to see what wild thing happens next. This whole saga's turned into the NFL's biggest reality show. Live, raw, unscripted, and way more dramatic than anything on TV. Cleveland's front office thought they were making some genius, strategic move, a big brain play for the future. But what they really created is the perfect storm of hype, frustration, and pure chaotic entertainment. Myles Garrett's the star of the show, Shedeur Sanders is the mystery everyone's waiting to unravel, Dillon Gabriel's the target, and the Browns, they're just trying to survive the explosion they started themselves. Garrett has become the tornado right in the eye of this storm, swirling chaos everywhere he goes, making sure nobody forgets just how disastrous this decision really was. Every stomp, every wild gesture, every laser-focused glare toward the sideline hits like a thunderclap of frustration.
The rookie everyone's overlooking just made a statement. And some fans think Joe Flacco was set up. Dillon Gabriel did not play bad. But Dillon Gabriel didn't play good enough to warrant that the change.
Man doesn't even need to speak. His body language is louder than any press conference. It's as if the football gods themselves decided to play a joke at Cleveland's expense, and the Browns got front row seats to the punchline. You couldn't script this level of drama if you tried. And right there on the sidelines, Shedeur Sanders is the total opposite. Calm, patient, locked in. Every single day, he's putting on a quiet masterclass in resilience, watching everything unfold like a chess player already 6 moves ahead. You can almost see that smirk creeping in like, y'all really gonna keep pretending this is working? Because deep down, Shadur knows his time's coming. It's not if, it's when. And when that moment hits, it's not just gonna be a debut, it's going to be a statement. The kind that shifts momentum, flips narratives, and makes every critic eat their words. It's frustrating, it's ridiculous, and somehow it's downright hilarious too. The only upside in this circus, they can't pin these ugly L's on Shedeur Sanders, and honestly, that might be the biggest joke of all. The Browns are out here losing in style while the one guy who could actually save them is still glued to the bench. It's like watching someone drowning with a life vest right beside them. They see it, they know it's there, but they just refuse to grab it. And if anyone thinks this saga's wrapping up quietly, think again. The media's about to have weeks of content to chew on. Every Myles Garrett meltdown, every Dillon Gabriel misfire, every fantasy of what if Shadur started is getting dissected, frame by frame, slow-mo, and zoomed in from 5 different camera angles. Because this isn't football anymore. This is theater. It's chaos, comedy, and heartbreak all rolled into one unbelievable season. It's wild how frustration turned into a full-on spectacle and rage somehow morphed into primetime entertainment. The talent, Shedeur Sanders, is sitting quietly, calm as ever, while the whole football world spins out in chaos around him. It's poetry and disaster colliding at full speed. The Browns might think they're just playing the game, but in reality, they've handed over the entire narrative, the whole storyline, to the NFL's most explosive defensive force, Myles Garrett, and the most patient, simmering quarterback waiting for his moment, Shedeur Sanders. One's the tornado, the other's the storm that hasn't even hit yet, and when it does, oh, Cleveland better brace for it. Meanwhile, the internet's feasting. Every meme, every clip, every sideline glare, every meltdown, all part of the show Cleveland accidentally created. It's chaos turned into content, pain turned into prime time. Now I want to hear from you. Should Shedeur Sanders finally get his shot? Drop your thoughts down below, and if you made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and join the conversation. It helps a ton, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.